The crimson dust of Proxima b swirled around Captain Sarah Chen's boots as she surveyed the barren landscape. Her squad of 6 moved with practiced efficiency, their nanofiber combat suits blending seamlessly with the rust-colored terrain. This routine patrol on humanity's first extrasolar colony was supposed to be uneventful. After all, Earth had been a part of the Galactic Council for nearly a decade. Movement, 2 o'clock. Lieutenant Mike Foster's voice crackled through the comm. Chen's augmented vision zoomed in on the indicated area, revealing a shimmer in the air that didn't match the heat distortion. "Cloaking tech," she muttered. "All units, defensive formation Alpha. We got company." The words had barely left her mouth when the air erupted with plasma fire. Bolts of searing energy lanced toward the human soldiers, their origins seemingly nowhere and everywhere at once. "Return fire," Chen barked, her own pulse rifle spitting hypervelocity rounds at the flickering distortions. The squad's training kicked in, each member finding cover and laying down suppressing fire. Private Zoe Rodriguez's voice cut through the chaos. "Cap, I'm patching into their comms. It's the Council's peacekeepers." Chen's blood ran cold. The peacekeepers were the Galactic Council's elite military force, supposedly dedicated to maintaining order among the stars. Their presence here, attacking the human patrol without provocation, could only mean one thing: betrayal. "Rodriguez, get a message back to command. Tell them." A blinding flash cut off Chen's words. When her vision cleared, she found herself on her knees, her rifle a melted wreck. Around her, her squad lay incapacitated, twitching from the effects of some unknown weapon. Tall, spindly figures materialized around them, their bodies covered in chitinous armor that seemed to absorb light. One of them, clearly the leader, stepped forward. Its face was a nightmare of compound eyes and mandibles. "Humans," it clicked in accented galactic standard. "Your presence is no longer required in this sector. The Council has reconsidered your status." Chen struggled to her feet, defiance burning in her eyes. "We have a treaty," she spat. "Earth is a member of the Council. This is an act of war." The alien's mandibles clacked in what might have been amusement. "Treaties are for equals, human. You were never our equals. Merely an experiment, one that has run its course." With a gesture from the leader, energy fields sprang up around Chen and her squad. She felt her muscles lock, her body becoming rigid as the stasis field took hold. "Take them," the alien commander ordered. "The Council wishes to understand human resilience. These specimens will provide ample opportunity for study." As the stasis fields lifted them into the air, Chen's mind raced. Somehow, she had to warn Earth. The Galactic Council wasn't the benevolent alliance they'd pretended to be. Humanity had walked into a trap, and now they were about to face the consequences. The last thing Chen saw before losing consciousness was the red dust of Proxima b swirling beneath her, a stark reminder of how far from home they truly were. Aboard the peacekeeper vessel, the alien commander initiated a secure transmission to Galactic Council headquarters. The holographic form of High Counselor Zixthar materialized, its gelatinous body pulsating with bioluminescent patterns. "Report, Commander Krelax." The High Counselor's thoughts reverberated directly into Krelax's mind. "The human outpost on Proxima b has been neutralized. Exalted One. We have captured specimens for the planned experiments." Zixthar's body rippled with satisfaction. "Excellent. The humans have grown too quickly, too unpredictably. We must understand their adaptability if we are to control it." Krelax's compound eyes shifted nervously. "Exalted One, if I may, the humans' tenacity is well documented. Is it wise to provoke them so directly?" A surge of dismissive thoughts flooded Krelax's mind. "Your concerns are noted, Commander, but unnecessary. Humanity is but an infant race, barely able to reach beyond its own star. Their treaty with us was the only thing granting them protection. Now they will learn their true place in the cosmos." As the transmission ended, Krelax turned to regard the stasis pods containing the captured humans. Despite the High Counselor's confidence, he couldn't shake a feeling of unease. There was something in the human captain's eyes, a fire that spoke of a determination beyond reason. For the first time in his long career as a peacekeeper, Commander Krelax found himself wondering if perhaps the Council had miscalculated. Back on Earth, in the subterranean command center of the United Earth Defense Force, alarms blared. General Lydia Hawthorne stared at the holographic display, her face a mask of disbelief and rage. "Replay the last transmission from Proxima B," she ordered, her voice tight with controlled fury. The fragmented message from Private Rodriguez played once more, cut short by static and the unmistakable sound of weapons fire. Hawthorne turned to her staff, her eyes blazing. "Ladies and gentlemen, as of this moment, we are at war. The Galactic Council has betrayed us, and they've taken our people." She paused, letting the gravity of the situation sink in. "But they've made one critical mistake." She zoomed in on the star map, highlighting the Proxima Centauri system. "They think we're trapped in our own backyard. It's time to show them how wrong they are." A predatory smile crossed her face. "Initiate Operation Trojan Horse and send a message to all our deep cover operatives in Council space. The keyword is Prometheus." As her staff scrambled to obey, Hawthorne allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. The Council thought they were dealing with a naive, helpless species. They were about to learn that humanity had been preparing for this betrayal from the very beginning. "You wanted to see our true nature," she murmured, watching as hidden shipyards across the solar system sparked to life, revealing vessels of impossible design. "Well, you're about to get a front-row seat." The stage was set. Humanity's mask of compliance was about to be shed, revealing a species forged in the fires of survival, ready to fight for its place among the stars. The Galactic Council had no idea what they had just unleashed. The acrid smell of ozone and alien antiseptic assaulted Captain Sarah Chen's nostrils as she regained consciousness. Her eyes fluttered open, immediately squinting against the harsh, pulsating light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. She tried to move, only to find her limbs restrained by some kind of energy field that buzzed angrily when she struggled against it. "Ah, the specimen awakens," a voice like grinding glass scraped across her mind. A tall, willowy figure glided into view, its body a sinuous mass of tentacles and eyes. "Welcome, human, to the Galactic Council's premier research facility. I am Chief Inquisitor Vexlor." Chen spat, her mouth dry and tasting of copper. "I am Captain Sarah Chen, United Earth Defense Force. You are in violation of interstellar law and the treaty off." A surge of pain cut off her words, every nerve ending in her body screaming in unison. When it subsided, she was left gasping, sweat beading on her forehead. Vexlor's eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture Chen interpreted as amusement. "Laws, treaties, such quaint concepts. You'll find, Captain, that the strong make the rules here. And you humans, you are not strong. Not yet, but you will help us understand why." Over the next hours, or was it days, time seemed to blur in this place of constant light and pain. Chen and her squad were subjected to a battery of tests and tortures. Physical endurance trials pushed their bodies to the brink of collapse. Psychological evaluations probed the depths of their minds, dredging up fears and weaknesses they didn't know they had. Through it all, Chen clung to her training, to her humanity. Name, rank, serial number, she muttered like a mantra, even as alien devices burrowed into her flesh, testing her body's ability to regenerate. In the cell next to her, Lieutenant Foster's screams had turned to a low, constant moan. Private Rodriguez's voice had gone hoarse from shouting defiance at their captors. But they held on, each in their own way, a testament to human resilience. During a rare moment of respite, Chen managed to whisper to Rodriguez through the energy barrier separating their cells. "Zoe, did you manage to get the message out before they took us?" Rodriguez, her young face gaunt and eyes sunken, nodded weakly. "I think so, Cap. Use the quantum entanglement burst transmitter. If it worked, Earth knows. Chen allowed herself a small smile. It wasn't much, but it was hope. And hope, she was learning, could be the sharpest weapon of all. Vexilor, observing through hidden sensors, found himself both frustrated and intrigued. These humans were proving far more resilient than any models had predicted. He turned to his assistant, a cybernetically enhanced member of a race long since assimilated by the Council. Increase the intensity of the cognitive dissonance fields, he ordered. I want to see how long they can maintain their sense of self when reality itself becomes malleable. As the new torments began, Chen felt her grip on sanity start to slip. The world around her shifted and warped, familiar faces morphing into monstrous visages. But in the deepest recesses of her mind, a fire continued to burn. A fire stoked by determination, by duty, and by an emotion the aliens couldn't comprehend. Righteous anger. Meanwhile, light years away, Earth was far from idle. In the war room of the United Earth Defense Force, General Hawthorne stood before a gathering of humanity's best and brightest. Military commanders, scientists, and political leaders from every nation filled the room, their faces grim but resolute. Ladies and gentlemen, Hawthorne began, her voice carrying to every corner of the room. The Galactic Council has shown its true colors. They see us not as allies, but as lab rats, as a threat to be controlled or eliminated. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. But they've underestimated us. Gravely. With a gesture, she brought up a holographic display of the galaxy. Dozens of points of light blinked into existence, scattered across Council space. For years, we've been playing the long game. Operation Trojan Horse is now active. Our deep cover agents, placed in key positions throughout Council territory, are ready to strike. But first, we need to get our people back. Dr. Aisha Patel, head of Earth's Technology Division, stepped forward. We've analyzed the quantum entanglement data burst from Proxima b. We know where they're holding our soldiers. Her fingers danced over a control panel, zooming in on a distant star system. The Council's research facility is here, in the Vega system, heavily guarded, but not impregnable. Colonel Jack Harper, a grizzled veteran of Earth's pre-Council conflicts, growled, "So we go in guns blazing. Show these bastards what happens when you poke the bear." Hawthorne shook her head. "Tempting, Colonel, but no. We need to be smarter than that. Dr. Patel, if you would." Patel nodded, bringing up schematics of a sleek, almost organic-looking vessel. "Gentlemen, ladies, meet the ESS Shadowdancer, reverse-engineered from Council tech, but improved upon in ways they can't imagine. Stealth capabilities that can fool even their most advanced sensors, and an AI core that can hack their systems faster than thought." "A single ship?" someone in the back of the room asked skeptically. Hawthorne's smile was cold and determined. "Sometimes, Colonel, a scalpel is more effective than a hammer. We're going to slip right under their noses, rescue our people, and in the process, gather intel that will bring the entire Council to its knees." As the briefing continued, detailing the intricacies of the rescue operation, a sense of purpose filled the room. The human spirit, that indomitable force that had carried the species from caves to the stars, was awakening. The Galactic Council had sought to break humanity. Instead, they had only succeeded in unleashing its full potential. Back in the torture chambers of the Council's research facility, Captain Chen endured another round of invasive tests. As pain lanced through her body, she clung to a single thought, a beacon in the darkness of her suffering. Earth knows. Help is coming. Little did she know that light years away, aboard the ESS Shadowdancer, a team of Earth's finest was preparing to tear apart the very fabric of galactic society to bring her home. The Council's reign of terror was about to meet its match in humanity's unwavering resolve. As Vexilor initiated another round of experiments, a small alert blinked on one of the facility's long-range sensors. For a moment, something had appeared at the edge of the system, a ghost in the machine, there and gone in an instant. The Chief Inquisitor dismissed it as a glitch, unaware that the first moves in humanity's grand strategy were already in play. The stage was set. Rescue, retribution, and revolution were on the horizon. And at the heart of it all, the unbreakable will of the species the Galactic Council had gravely underestimated. The gleaming spires of Zalthora, capital world of the Galactic Council, pierced the planet's swirling purple atmosphere. In the Grand Chamber of Unity, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered for an emergency session. Rumors of unrest rippled through the assembly. Whispers of human prisoners, of experiments that violated the very principles the Council claimed to uphold. High Counselor Zixthar's massive form undulated as it addressed the gathered delegates, its bioluminescent patterns pulsing with carefully crafted calm. Esteemed colleagues, we have called this session to address certain misconceptions regarding our interactions with the human species. Before Zixthar could continue, the chamber's holographic displays flickered and died. For a moment, darkness reigned. Then, with a burst of light that seared alien retinas, a new image materialized. A human woman, her bearing unmistakably military, her eyes blazing with controlled fury. Members of the Galactic Council, General Lydia Hawthorne's voice boomed through the chamber. I am General Lydia Hawthorne of the United Earth Defense Force. Your lies end now. Pandemonium erupted in the chamber. Delegates shouted for explanations, for security. Zixthar's form rippled with alarm, its thoughts broadcasting confusion to its aides. How had the humans breached their most secure communications? Hawthorne continued, her voice cutting through the chaos. You took our soldiers. You violated your own laws. You thought us weak, primitive, easily controlled. You were wrong. With a gesture, she brought up images that made even the most hardened delegates recoil. The torture chambers where Captain Chen and her squad still fought to maintain their sanity and humanity. We trusted you. Hawthorne's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the vast chamber. We extended the hand of friendship, and you responded with betrayal. Now you will face the consequences. In orbit around Zalthora, cloaking fields shimmered and fell away, revealing a fleet of ships unlike anything the Council had ever encountered. Sleek, organic lines melded with crystalline structures that pulsed with barely contained energy. The ships moved with impossible grace, effortlessly evading the panicked response of the Council's defense fleet. Back in the Grand Chamber, Hawthorne's hologram grew to titanic proportions, her face a mask of determination. To the Galactic Council, we issue this ultimatum. Return our people. All of them. Unharmed. You have one standard solar day to comply. Zixthar, finally regaining some composure, surged forward. You dare threaten us. The combined might of 1,000 worlds. Your species is but an infant, taking its first steps into the cosmos. Hawthorne's laugh was cold and devoid of humor. An infant, perhaps, but we've learned to walk faster than you could ever imagine. Her image shifted, showing schematics of technologies that should have been centuries beyond human understanding. While you played at diplomacy, we prepared for war. Your ships, your weapons, your very biology. We've studied it all, improved upon it. The chamber fell silent, the weight of realization settling over the assembled delegates. They had underestimated humanity, and now they stood on the brink of a conflict they were unprepared to face. One day, Hawthorne repeated, return our people, and we can still find a path to peace. Refuse, and you will understand why. Throughout our history, those who have threatened humanity's freedom have always come to fear us. With that, the hologram vanished, leaving the Grand Chamber in stunned silence. Across Council space, carefully placed human agents sprang into action. Communication relays were sabotaged, weapon stockpiles mysteriously malfunctioned, and key defense installations found themselves blind and powerless. The once mighty Galactic Council was paralyzed, their vast network of worlds suddenly vulnerable. In the torture chambers of the research facility, alarms blared. Chief Inquisitor Vexlor rushed to the control center, his many eyes wide with panic. What's happening? he demanded. A subordinate, tentacles flying over control panels, responded with a tremor in its voice. "We're being hacked, sir. Our systems are shutting down. We can't even maintain containment fields." In her cell, Captain Sarah Chen felt the energy restraints flicker and die. Despite her weakened state, a smile spread across her battered face. "Took you long enough," she muttered, struggling to her feet. As chaos engulfed the facility, Chen rallied her squad. Their bodies were broken, their minds strained to the breaking point, but their spirits remained undefeated. "On your feet, soldiers," she croaked, her voice hoarse but commanding. "Cavalry's here. Time to show these bastards what happens when you back humans into a corner." Light years away, aboard the ESS Shadowdancer, Colonel Jack Harper watched the unfolding situation with grim satisfaction. "Reaching teams ready, sir," his second-in-command reported. Harper nodded, his scared face set in stone. "Commence Operation Payback. Bring our people home." The Shadowdancer decloaked, its impossible form materializing in the heart of the Council's defense grid. Before the alien ships could even register its presence, pinpoint energy beams lanced out, disabling critical systems with surgical precision. As breach pods launched towards the research facility, Harper allowed himself a small, fierce grin. "Welcome to the big leagues, you alien bastards," he growled. "Class is in session." In the Grand Chamber on Zalthora, the Galactic Council faced a choice that would reshape the future of 1,000 worlds. The clock was ticking, and humanity's patience was running out. The ultimatum had been delivered. Now the galaxy held its breath, waiting to see if the Council would heed the warning to run, or if they would learn the hard way why threatening humanity was a mistake none had ever made twice. As the human fleet hung in orbit, a silent promise of retribution, the true scope of humanity's preparation and determination began to dawn on the Galactic Council. They had sought to cage a force of nature, only to find they had instead uncaged something far more dangerous: humanity's full potential. The next 24 hours would determine the fate of galactic civilization, and at the heart of it all, a handful of tortured but unbroken human soldiers stood ready to show the cosmos what it truly meant to be human. The ESS Shadowdancer hung in space like a predator poised to strike, its crystalline hull absorbing all light and sensor signals. Inside the ship's command center, Colonel Jack Harper surveyed the holographic display of the Council's research facility, his eyes narrowed in concentration. "Final checks, people," he barked. "I want this operation smoother than a Martian sandstorm. We go in, we get our people, we get out. Any Council scum gets in our way, you show them exactly why humanity isn't to be trifled with." Around him, the elite rescue team made last-minute preparations. Each soldier was encased in a suit of armor that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, adapting to its wearer's movements with inhuman precision. These were the fruits of Earth's clandestine research, a melding of stolen alien tech and human ingenuity. Lieutenant Amelia Zhao, the team's tech specialist, approached Harper. "Sir, I've finished my analysis of the facility's systems. Their cybersecurity is a joke compared to what we've developed. I can have us in and out before they even know what hit them." Harper nodded grimly. "Do it. And make sure you leave them a little parting gift, something to remember us by." As Zhao's fingers danced over her holo interface, the Shadowdancer's eye spoke, its voice a calm counterpoint to the tension in the air. "Colonel, I've detected a pattern in the facility's energy fluctuations. There's a window approaching where their systems will be at their most vulnerable. Optimal insertion point in 3 minutes." "You heard the lady," Harper announced to his team. "Gear up. We're going in hot." The next 3 minutes passed in a blur of final checks and steeled nerves. Then, with a silent command from Harper, the operation began. The Shadowdancer's stealth field pulsed, creating a momentary blind spot in the facility's sensors. In that split second, a dozen drop pods launched, each containing a member of Harper's elite team. The pods streaked towards the facility, their heat signatures masked by technology that defied the laws of thermodynamics as the Council understood them. Inside the facility, alarms blared as the human intrusion was finally detected, but it was already too late. The drop pods breached the outer hull with pinpoint accuracy, each one targeting a critical system or security checkpoint. Harper's pod crashed through the ceiling of the main control room, the impact sending alien technicians scattering. As the smoke cleared, he emerged, his armor's adaptive camouflage shifting to match the metallic walls. "Knock, knock," he growled, his voice modulated to a frequency that sent waves of panic through the alien defenders' nervous systems. Before they could react, non-lethal concussive blasts erupted from his gauntlets, incapacitating the room's occupants. "Control room secured," he reported. "Zhao, you're up. Find our people." Across the facility, similar scenes played out. The human rescue team moved with a coordination and efficiency that left the Council's defenders reeling. Adaptive armor deflected energy weapons, while handheld devices emitted signals that scrambled alien communication and targeting systems. In her cell, Captain Sarah Chen heard the commotion. Despite her weakened state, a fierce grin spread across her face. "About damn time," she muttered, struggling to her feet. "All right, team, looks like our ride's here. Let's not keep them waiting." As if on cue, the energy field containing Chen and her squad flickered and died. Moments later, the cell door exploded inward, revealing a figure in sleek, unfamiliar armor. "Captain Chen," the figure asked, its helmet retracting to reveal a young woman's face. "I'm Corporal Riley. We're here to take you home." Chen nodded, her voice hoarse but strong. "Good to see you, Corporal. My team. We're extracting them now, ma'am. Can you walk?" In response, Chen straightened, years of military discipline overriding her body's protests. "We can do a hell of a lot more than walk. Point us at the enemy." Riley's smile was fierce. "Yes, ma'am. We've got some toys you might like to try out." As Chen and her reunited squad were equipped with spare battle suits, Colonel Harper's voice came through their newly activated comms. "Welcome back to the land of the living, Captain. Feel up to helping us send a message." Chen's eyes gleamed with a dangerous light. "Colonel, I've been dreaming of this moment. What's the plan?" "Simple," Harper replied, a hint of dark humor in his voice. "We're going to walk right out the front door. And anyone who tries to stop us is going to learn why you don't piss off humanity." With the rescued prisoners secured, the human team began their exfiltration. But this was more than just a rescue mission. It was a statement. As they fought their way through the facility, they left a trail of disabled security systems, shattered weapons, and thoroughly demoralized alien defenders. Lieutenant Zhao's parting gift began to take effect. Throughout the facility, databanks were wiped clean, replaced with a simple message broadcast on every screen and comm channel. "We warned you to run." In the midst of the chaos, Chief Inquisitor Vexilor found himself face to face with Captain Chen. The alien's many eyes widened in fear as he recognized the human he had so recently tortured. "You?" Chen said, her voice cold. "I believe we have some unfinished business." What followed was not a battle, but a reckoning. Chen's moves were precise, efficient, fueled by righteous anger, but tempered by discipline. In moments, Vexilor lay defeated, his body racked with the same pain he had so gleefully inflicted on others. Chen leaned close, her voice a whisper that would haunt Vexilor's nightmares for years to come. "Remember this moment. Remember that humans do not break. We endure, we overcome, and we do not forget." As the rescue team fought their way to the extraction point, the true extent of humanity's technological leap became apparent. Weapons that shouldn't have existed outside of science fiction cut through Council defenses like paper. Armor shrugged off hits that should have been fatal. And through it all, the human soldiers moved with a coordination and adaptability that left their alien opponents in disarray. From orbit, the ESS Shadowdancer provided cover fire, its advanced weapon systems neutralizing the facility's major defenses with surgical precision. The message was clear. Humanity could have leveled the entire complex, but chose a more measured approach. As the last of the team boarded their extraction vehicles, Colonel Harper took one final look at the chaos they were leaving behind. "Shadow Dancer, this is Harper. Package secured. Light 'em up." In response, the Shadow Dancer unleashed a final barrage, not of destructive force, but of information. Every communication device in the sector was suddenly flooded with data, evidence of the Council's crimes, schematics of human technology, and a simple ultimatum. "We came for our people," Harper's voice boomed across all frequencies. "We could have come for so much more. Remember that the next time you think of crossing humanity." As the rescue ships rocketed away from the shattered facility, cloaking fields shimmering into place, the full impact of what had just occurred began to ripple across Council space. Humanity had not just rescued its people, it had shattered the illusion of the Council's invincibility. Aboard the Shadow Dancer, Captain Chen and her team received medical attention, their bodies beginning the long process of healing. But their spirits were unbroken, forged stronger in the crucible of their ordeal. Chen caught Harper's eye, a silent understanding passing between them. The rescue was complete, but this was just the beginning. Humanity had announced its presence on a galactic stage in a way that could never be ignored. As the Shadow Dancer jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving the stunned Council forces behind, one thing was certain. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and humanity was done playing by anyone else's rules. The aftermath of humanity's daring rescue reverberated across the stars like a shockwave. In the days that followed, the carefully maintained order of the Galactic Council began to crumble. On Zalthora, the Council's capital world, the Grand Chamber of Unity had become an arena of chaos. Delegates from 1,000 worlds shouted accusations and demands, their once unified voice now a cacophony of fear and outrage. High Counselor Zixthar's bioluminescent patterns pulsed erratically as it struggled to maintain order. "Esteemed colleagues, please, we must approach this situation with calm and calm." The delegate from the Vorathi Confederation, a being of living crystal, interrupted. "The humans have made fools of us all. They penetrated our most secure facility, rescued their people, and broadcasted our secrets across the galaxy. Where is the vaunted might of the Council now?" Similar sentiments echoed throughout the chamber. The humans' display of technological prowess and military precision had shaken the foundation of the Council's authority. Species that had long chafed under the Council's rule now saw an opportunity for change. In the shadows of the chamber, Arkan Vis, representative of the Sylvan Collective, watched the proceedings with keen interest. His people had long been skeptical of the Council's methods, and now, it seemed, their patience had been rewarded. Slipping away from the chaotic assembly, Arkan made his way to a secure communication node. After ensuring he wasn't followed, he initiated a quantum-entangled transmission to a location far beyond Council space. "This is Arkan Vis," he whispered, his leaf-like appendages quivering with excitement. "The seeds we planted have borne fruit. Humanity has exceeded all expectations. It's time for the next phase." Light years away, aboard the ESS Shadow Dancer, Captain Sarah Chen was still coming to terms with her rescue. As she stood on the observation deck, watching the swirling colors of faster-than-light travel, Colonel Harper approached. "How are you holding up, Captain?" he asked, his gruff voice tinged with concern. Chen turned, a wry smile on her face. "Still feels a bit like a dream, sir. Part of me is waiting to wake up back in that cell." Harper nodded, understanding in his eyes. "It's real, all right. And what you and your team endured, it won't be forgotten. You've become a symbol, Chen." A rallying cry. Before Chen could respond, the ship's AI interrupted. "Colonel, Captain, your presence is requested in the war room. We're receiving multiple transmissions from unexpected sources." In the war room, holographic displays flickered to life, showing faces and forms of various alien species. Many were unfamiliar, representatives of races that had kept to the fringes of council space. One by one, they spoke, their messages varying in detail but united in theme. They wanted to align with humanity. "Your actions have shown us that the council is not invincible," said a being of pure energy. "We have long sought a force that could challenge the council's tyranny," added a collective consciousness of microscopic organisms. "Humanity's strength and ingenuity are impressive," rumbled a silicon-based life form. "We wish to learn from you, to stand with you." As the messages continued, General Hawthorne's hologram materialized in the center of the room. Her face was stern, but there was a glimmer of satisfaction in her eyes. "Well," she said, surveying the assembled humans and the myriad alien transmissions, "it seems our little display has stirred up quite the hornet's nest." Harper grinned, a predatory gleam in his eye. "Looks like the council's house of cards is coming down, ma'am. What's our next move?" Hawthorne's expression turned thoughtful. "We've shown them our strength. Now it's time to show them our wisdom. Captain Chen, step forward, please." Chen, still adapting to her newfound symbol status, moved to stand beside the general's hologram. "Captain," Hawthorne said, her voice carrying to all present and to the alien transmissions, "you've seen the worst the council has to offer. You've endured their cruelty and witnessed their arrogance. What do you think we should do next?" Chen was silent for a moment, weighing the enormity of the question. When she spoke, her voice was clear and resolute. "We didn't come this far to become conquerors, General. We came to claim our place among the stars, to explore and to grow. The council's way is dying. Let's show the galaxy a better path." Hawthorne nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well said, Captain." She turned to address the alien transmissions. "To all those who seek alliance with Earth, hear this. We do not wish to replace one tyranny with another. We propose a new order, one based on mutual respect, shared knowledge, and collective defense." As Hawthorne outlined humanity's vision for a new galactic community, the mood in the war room shifted. There was a sense of history in the making, of a pivotal moment that would reshape the cosmos. Meanwhile, on distant worlds and hidden outposts, those who had long operated in the shadows of the council began to emerge. Resistance movements, fought crushed centuries ago, found new hope in humanity's stand. Underground networks of scientists and philosophers, preserving knowledge the council had sought to suppress, prepared to share their secrets with a galaxy on the brink of transformation. In the heart of council space, aboard a cloaked station that had evaded detection for millennia, the true architects of humanity's rise watched the unfolding events with satisfaction. "It is as we predicted," said one. "Its form a swirling vortex of dark matter. Humanity has proven to be the catalyst the galaxy needed." "Indeed," replied another, "its body a complex lattice of quantum probability. The old order crumbles, and from its ashes, a new era will rise. An era where the boundaries of possibility are pushed ever outward." As the galaxy trembled on the precipice of change, humanity stood ready to lead the charge into a future limited only by imagination and the indomitable spirit that had carried them from Earth to the stars. The Council had sought to cage a force of nature. Instead, they had unleashed a cosmic revolution. One standard galactic year had passed since humanity's audacious rescue mission had shaken the foundations of the Galactic Council. The grand spires of Zalthora, once symbols of the Council's unassailable power, now stood as monuments to a fading era. In the reorganized Grand Chamber, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered. But this was no longer the Council of old. At the center of the chamber stood a holographic projection of Earth, rotating slowly, a visual reminder of the species that had catalyzed a cosmic revolution. General Lydia Hawthorne, now serving as Earth's primary diplomat, addressed the assembly. Her uniform, a blend of military precision and diplomatic flair, symbolized humanity's new role in the galaxy. "Friends, allies, fellow sentients," she began, her voice carrying the weight of hard-won authority. "A year ago, we stood on the brink of war. Today, we stand united in a vision of a galaxy where knowledge is shared, where strength is found in diversity, and where no species need fear oppression. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Among the delegates, Captain Sarah Chen, now Admiral Chen, sat alongside representatives from dozens of formerly marginalized species. Her presence, a living testament to human resilience, had become a cornerstone of the new galactic narrative. The Turin Accord, Hawthorne continued, gesturing to a shimmering holographic document, is more than just a treaty. It's a promise that the mistakes of the past will not be repeated, that power will not corrupt, that knowledge will not be hoarded, and that every sentient being has the right to reach for the stars. As Hawthorne spoke, screens around the chamber displayed images from across the galaxy. On countless worlds, joint human-alien teams worked to dismantle the last vestiges of the Council's oppressive regime. Forbidden technologies, long suppressed by the Council, were being studied and integrated into a new galactic infrastructure. In deep space, the ESS Shadowdancer, now the flagship of a joint species exploration fleet, probed the boundaries of known space. Colonel Jack,